Yo, what's going on, YouTube family? K Souls back here with another video. Yeah, man. And today we're gonna go somewhere a bit different. Today I want to talk about being the villain according to your partner's family or being a toxic man. And you know what? I think personally, just to do a quick sum up and then I'll go into detail, that every man that enters a relationship has to be prepared to be the villain in your relationship. And I'm not encouraging anything negative. I'm not encouraging anything negative. I'm not encouraging bad behavior from men and making it acceptable. I'm just saying that I find that a lot of men are the villains in their relationship. Even if they're good men, like, and what brought this thought along is obviously I told you that I'm trying to be more transparent in my videos and do things in real time. So what things I go through, I'll bring up, talk about. They can become a content, and it's like therapy. I can learn from it as I'm speaking, and people can learn from me if they may be in the same similar situations and want to see how someone else will handle it or whatever. You know, another thing people must know, yeah, and I have to be real with you, yeah, is that when you've got a friend that is in a relationship, yeah, whether is your tight friend, your best friend, you're now in a relationship with them and their partner. Meaning, most things you tell them, their partner is going to know. They're going to discuss it with their partner. Let me break it to you. If people don't know or don't realize, if you've got a friend that's in a relationship, a long term relationship, or is married, they're discussing your business with their partner. Listen, it's real. It's real. They might share the last name for a reason. They're one person now. It's real. Yeah. The reason why I'm saying that is because this whole concept came along because one day Mrs. came home letting me know about one of her friends that are having relationship problems and how bad the man is. And you know how it is. We're dealing with women here, two women. So they're discussing how bad that man is, and a lot of the times women are empaths. They will comfort their friends. It's all the man's fault. Point out all the bad things he's done, but not really focus on the good things at the time. So obviously a narrative is being built. Now, I'm also aware that some things are real, and I don't want to disregard or invalidate any woman's experience. But you know how it goes, man. When you might have made one mistake or whatever, and now you're the villain, right? And I remember hearing it and saying, "Yeah, man, that's wrong. Like, why would he do it like that? Why would he do this? Why would he?" Yeah, that was my thought process until I became the villain. So obviously, me now having my own issue in my relationship, maybe it could have been an argument with the missus based on something I've done wrong. Yeah. Now I'm the villain in the friendship group. Do you get what I'm saying? And then at that moment, when it happened to me, I learned that, you know what? Two mindsets you kind of go through. You go through the one where it's like, you know what? Bun everyone. I don't care. Let them think what they want to think. But then I also thought that, you know what? So many other guys I've probably judged based on what my missus says. I'm only hearing one side of the story. I'm not really investing in that much. Like, I don't need to be gossiping too much. I'm just going off what these women are saying. And it's wrong because I have felt misunderstood and I have felt accused of stuff without people knowing the reason behind my actions or knowing the full picture of what really went down. Not saying that all women are going to lie or anything, but you know, when someone's going through it and you're speaking to that person going through it, 9 times out of 10, people are gonna comfort you. You're gonna hear it from one perspective, and also the way the so-called victim will relay the information, it is gonna be biased to how they saw it, like where they saw you went wrong. You know how you can see someone else's wrong before you see your own, which is just what humans do. So people only get that perspective. So now when we're talking about family, like I'm a respectful person. I can be a bit shy around family members and stuff because I don't want to look bad. I'm always trying to put my best foot forward. But you know, when you get into relationships long term or you're married, the cracks are gonna show. Like over time, the cracks are gonna show. Everyone has to truly be themselves. You're damn near married. Like you can't keep mask every single day. Do you know what I mean? So obviously you're gonna see bad traits from each other. Now, you sometimes that can lead to conflicts because things are not done the way you're used to, or you're being spoken to a way in a way that you're not used to, or whatever. Anything. But you know, when you're close to someone, you're definitely gonna bump heads, basically. So I used to focus on what people think and what family members think. I don't believe, yeah, a couple should bring their relationship issues to their family. And what I mean by that is, I mean, you should never be putting down your partner or painting a bad picture of them to your family members. Yeah. Of course, like if you're in danger or you actually need their help and they're going to, to save you, basically danger. I don't think arguments and things that are said to each other and all of that should really go back to the parents because they may not forgive you when you forgive that person. So if you're in a relationship and you have a tiff with someone and that person that you're in a relationship with, or something happens, but you're not ready to clock out completely, I don't think you should go to family and friends. I think what you need is therapy. I think therapy or a neutral person like a pastor or a imam if you're Muslim or whatever it is, some a mentor or someone that's a neutral party that's not going to be biased to any individual. I think that puts safety, that secures your relationship. Because tends to happen if you go back to family and friends, they will use their biases and judge your partner in that way, and then it becomes uncomfortable for everyone. When there's events and stuff, and I just don't think. Yeah, I think it just can get messy when that happens, and also they're not obliged to forgive that person when you're ready to forgive. Relationships, you can argue in the morning and be friends in the evening, right? But because an external party that could be a family member or friend, or even for their own motives, because they don't have to deal with that person every day and they're not the one committed to them, it's easy for them to hold on to any grudge, or if they didn't like them in the first place, they can now have more of a reason not to like them. And then also, sometimes it's a reflection of how they feel about themselves. It could be jealousy and they now want you single again. So they might give you the wrong advice. Yeah, it's as simple as that. So there's like loads of reasons why people will either give you the wrong advice, build their own judgments or whatever, and then you could end up in a position now where you're going off what people say or you look stupid when you're back there. And now you're getting judged because you've made out that this is so terrible and you're there again. So I just think to save all of that, go and sort out your problems with a therapist. And if you can't solve it or you're really clocking out, then do what you want. Obviously, I don't think people should like reserve speaking to their family about their relationship and stuff. I mean, like, there's general things to speak about when it comes to your relationship, like, and also relationship updates, life updates, all of those things that are normal to do with family. But what I mean is, don't go and start criticizing your partner, making them look so bad, yeah, and then you know, not whilst knowing that you're probably going back or the relationship is not ending. Do you know what I mean? And I say all that though, but women don't listen. This is for me. That's how I would like things to be. But I'm aware that when certain people go through things, and women especially, from my experience of women, I'm not generalizing, but they tend to get emotional, and when they're emotional, they start speaking about all the issues, and they'll expose stuff and tell friends and family, and then you know now you're the bad guy. And that's why I've come to the conclusion that you can't actually win, because I've been angry about that before, but I've realized that you know what, it is what it is. If that's someone's outlet, that's their outlet. I don't fully agree with it. I think we got therapy for that, but this is another thing about relationships. You got to accept people for who they are, and some people have really good relationships with their family, and that would be hard for them to follow. So I've now come to the conclusion that you have to be prepared to be the villain or the toxic man. You might not be able to avoid it, because even if you are a good person, relationship brings out everything. So it brings out the good and the bad. It brings out your bad traits and your good traits or whatever, right? Especially when you're staying with someone, like they're going to see every side to you. So when that does turn into conflict, yeah, and you show your bad side, or maybe there's things about yourself, there's bad habits you have, or whatever it is, that's going to be exposed when they're talking about how bad you are, and they're in their emotional state. And that's going to happen in probably 80 to 90% of relationships, because you are going to piss your person off. That's the honest truth. So be prepared to be that. Some people don't care, but you know what? For me now, if I have to look bad to them, it's fine. It's a long game, right? It's a long game. Relationship is a long game, in a sense that today you might be the bad guy, but when you've blossomed, and maybe your relationship has blossomed, and generally that person has had growth and become a better person, yeah, then you will be celebrated. But the moral of the story is, don't do things to be celebrated, because it's a lot of the times it will go the other way. Do things that's right for you, your life, your marriage, your relationship. Just be on the right side of things, you know, with true intentions. Some things may piss off your partner at the time. Some things it may be a long game that you're playing, like, but that's the main thing. Like, you're not gonna you can't please everyone. That's the main thing. So yeah, man. Like, comment, subscribe. What do you guys think? Is it possible you can avoid that stigma in a long term relationship slash marriage as a man? And if so, how do you do it? Help me. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.